Spoiler alert for the Boruto manga. What is up, dudes? It's Chrome Shade here. Boruto chapter 53 was monumental. It completely changed up the plot in ways I wasn't expecting. These are the two biggest events to come out of the chapter: the death of Isshiki and the destruction of Sasuke's Rinnegan. Oh, don't even get me started on that one, man. Isshiki seemed like he would be an overarching force, ever prevalent throughout the majority of the series. He seemed like the end game, the main antagonist, the driving force behind the plot. But Kishimoto threw a wrench into the story by completely removing his character. For those who aren't caught up, here's a quick recap. Isshiki was forced to resurrect within the body of Jigen rather than Kawaki, his true vessel. Jigen's body is weak and unable to contain Isshiki's intense chakra. Isshiki had 3 days to find Kawaki and plant another karma mark on him before he died. But Naruto, using his new form, Baryon mode, was able to drastically siphon off Isshiki's life force, bringing his remaining time down to just a few minutes. Isshiki was screwed until he noticed the chakra link between Naruto and Kawaki's prosthetic arm, which Naruto fuels with his own chakra at all times. He used this connection to locate Kawaki and teleport him to the scene of the battle. This created a desperate scenario. All they had to do was stall Isshiki for a few minutes and prevent him from placing another mark on Kawaki, but Kawaki was the only protagonist who could even move. Isshiki was desperately trying to catch him before it was too late, and that brings us to the main event. Isshiki finally caught Kawaki, except he didn't. Knowing that Naruto was the most precious person in Kawaki's life, Isshiki threatened to kill Naruto if Kawaki didn't show himself. Up to this point, Isshiki didn't know Kawaki had learned any ninjutsu. Kawaki takes advantage of this by sending out a shadow clone. Isshiki grabs a clone, thinking it's the real Kawaki, and forces his karma mark upon it. Immediately after this, Isshiki begins to decay, Jigen's weak body having finally reached its limit. However, at this point, Ishiki's karma begins dissolving from Kawaki's body. As Isshiki begins to panic, Kawaki reveals that the karma was placed on a shadow clone, which doesn't serve as a suitable vessel. The clone poofs away, and Isshiki crumbles to dust. With no remaining karma, Ishiki's death is permanent. The proud leader of Kara is gone for good. Or is he? There's actually a possibility that Kawaki could still have received the karma mark, even though the shadow clone dispelled. Let's look at what we know about the shadow clone jutsu. Its most famous user is obviously the 7th Hokage. The shadow clone jutsu differs from the regular clone jutsu in the fact that the clones are actual real solid objects rather than illusions. The user's chakra is evenly distributed so well among the clones that not even ocular jutsu can tell the difference between the real one and the clones. Sharingan, Byakugan, Rinnegan, or even the Rinne Sharingan can't distinguish them. The only instance of this ever being done is Madara with a complete mastery of his Rinnegan. Shadow clones come with one feature that can serve as a huge benefit to the wielder. All knowledge gained by the clone is transferred back to the one who cast the jutsu. Kakashi demonstrated this with a simple experiment. Naruto and Kakashi each made a clone and sent them away into the woods. The two clones played rock, paper, scissors, then disappeared. The knowledge of who won the game was transferred back to Naruto and Kakashi. Naruto used this technique to quickly develop the Rasen Shuriken by having tons of clones do it at once. But knowledge is not the only thing given back to the user. The other is chakra. This may be detrimental to Kawaki. When a shadow clone is destroyed or dispelled, all of its remaining chakra is given back to its creator. One great example of this is Naruto building natural chakra for Sage Mode. He can have a shadow clone calmly sit and meditate as he fights elsewhere. When he dissipates the clone, all of the gathered chakra travels to Naruto, powering him up into Sage Mode. If all the chakra and all the information from a shadow clone is moved back to the body of the user, then there is a very real possibility that the karma on Kawaki's shadow clone was transferred back to his main body. Isshiki may still have a path to resurrection, and to be honest, this makes sense plot-wise. We know for a fact that Kawaki has a karma after the time skip. If the karma was not given to Kawaki through his shadow clone, then there's absolutely no way that this karma is from Isshiki. This moment was the one and only chance that Isshiki had to sustain any continued presence in this series. He had no karma before that moment, and if the implementation failed, then he will be permanently dead. Either he succeeded at that point, or he perished for good. If Kawaki does have Ishiki's karma, then we have an idea of how he might get to the point and the flash forward. But if he doesn't have Ishiki's karma, Then who the frick's karma does he have? Assuming that it's not Isshiki's, we have two options. One, it's a second Momoshiki karma. It's possible we get a situation like Isshiki having a karma on both Jigen and Kawaki. The opening scene may feature Boruto and Kawaki both bearing the karma of Momoshiki. But why would Momoshiki do this? Boruto already happens to be the perfect vessel. Momoshiki got very lucky in being killed by Boruto. The young ninja has the bloodlines of both Hagoromo and Tamara, plus ocular jutsu, plus Uzumaki chakra reserves, and most importantly, that protagonist power, baby! Momoshiki would have no reason to body hop to Kawaki, unless Kawaki's grooming makes him an even more suited vessel. But Boruto's genetic makeup seems to make him a perfect fit. Even Momoshiki observed that Boruto has strongly inherited the power of the Otsutsuki. Clearly though, we know that something happens to disturb the progress of Momoshiki's resurrection. The flash forward takes place 3 to 4 years in universe ahead of the current point in the manga. Boruto has only had the karma for a few months, and Isshiki identifies it as being 70 to 80% matured. Given this, there's absolutely no reason why it shouldn't be finished unpacking by that point in the story. Momoshiki would have been able to resurrect in Boruto's body long before Boruto ever had the chance to face Kawaki down on the Hokage faces. We know that resonating with Kawaki's karma sped up the process, but was it so drastic as to make the last 20% take years while the first 80% only took a few months? And Kawaki has a karma in the flash forward, so they should still be causing each other to develop quickly. Either Momoshiki and Boruto have reached some sort of agreement in which they both share control, something disturbs the progress, or Momoshiki chooses not to resurrect within Boruto. Maybe he's waiting for Kawaki's karma to fully unpack so he can take him as a vessel instead. But the thing is, Otsutsuki aren't naturally able to place 2 karma seals. Isshiki only achieved it through scientific means with Amato's help, and I don't see anyone at the Hidden Leaf helping Momoshiki place his second seal. But if he could figure out how to do it, that would be a sick plot in my opinion. One thing worth mentioning is this manga panel, showing up during a conversation between Amato and Isshiki. It depicts Boruto and Kawaki, each with a horn on the left side of their head. This is the exact style and location of the structure that manifests from Momoshiki's karma. Isshiki's karma causes a horn to grow on the right side, wrapping around the skull, while Momoshiki's creates a tall, flat horn, sticking straight up on the left. Kawaki is shown with the Momoshiki variation here. Then again, the karma seal's on his right side during the flash forward, so this could be a less specific artistic depiction, or it could be hinting at something more. The second option for Kawaki having a non-Isshiki karma is that it belongs to another Otsutsuki. Who else do we know of? Well, one, there's Kaguya. She's sealed within another moon in an alternate dimension. It took Black Zetsu thousands of years to free her the first time, and that's when she was sealed in this dimension. On top of that, Black Zetsu was sealed with her, and there isn't anybody else on the Earth who would have an interest in breaking her free. Besides, that would just be repeating the plot of Shippuden, and nobody wants that. Not even the Otsutsuki care about her. Isshiki, Momoshiki, Kinshiki, and Orishiki all learned that she was defeated, and none of them made any moves to search for her, resurrect her, or even question her status. It's clear they could not care less about Kaguya. After all, she's a traitor to the clan. Most of them just seem to hate each other anyway. On top of that, she's pretty much the most hated villain in the series, a stain on Kishimoto's legacy. Along with Sakura, I don't see him bringing her back as a major plot point. Other than Kaguya, we have no other viable options. Possibly Toneri, but seeing as he's frozen in time for the next 10,000 years and also helping the Earth to repent of his sins, I don't see him pulling anything like that. It may end up being a brand new clan member. We know that there are at least 2 more for us to meet. When Sasuke traveled to the alternate dimension containing the Ten-Tailed Seed, he saw murals of 3 teams of Otsutsuki members. The first was Momoshiki and Kinshiki. The second was Kaguya and Isshiki. There was also a third pair, but the icons had been destroyed. Ikimoto, the artist, made a deliberate point to show the third pair of patterns, with Sasuke mentioning their extensive damage. One of these 2 could be the clan member who bestows Kawaki with the Karma Seal. After all, word could get out that Isshiki groomed a perfect and powerful vessel, and any other Otsutsuki searching for a new body may take interest. Here's something to think about though. The karma that Kawaki has in episode 1 is red. We've seen both Boruto and Kawaki activate their karmas in the modern time period of the anime now. Boruto's Momoshiki karma is blue. Kawaki's Isshiki karma is red. The question is whether the color of the karma is associated with the person wielding it, or the Otsutsuki who bestowed it. Will Kawaki wield a red karma, no matter which Otsutsuki it came from, or will Isshiki's karma be red, no matter which vessel is using it? I think we'll get a good answer for this when the Kawaki arc gets animated. There's a scene where Isshiki activates his karma on Jigen's body. If it's animated red, then we'll know that the color red comes specifically from Ishiki's karma, and the karma that Kawaki has in the flash forward is indeed from Isshiki. But if that scene shows that karma as, say, purple, then Kawaki's future karma could belong to literally anyone. All cards are on the table. There's one more thing I'd like to touch on. The death of Isshiki could have been a result of real-world events. For the past 52 chapters, it felt like Kodachi, the author of Boruto, was setting up Isshiki as this massive presence that would last the entire series. But now, Kishimoto, the original author and creator of Naruto, has suddenly returned as lead writer. Things aren't totally clear, but either last month or this month was his first chapter fully in charge of the script. And once you know, as soon as Kishimoto returns, the main villain that Kodachi is hyped up so heavily is taken out of the picture. I'm not saying by any means this is verified to be the case, but it's possible that Kishimoto simply wanted to take the story in a different direction. Now, the death didn't feel rushed at all. It came at a very appropriate and believable time. It might have always been the plan to pull the rug out from under us like this. It was just unexpected. It seemed like Isshiki would continue through this battle and past the time skip. I would be lying if I said I didn't love a good plot twist. That's one of my favorite things about the Boruto manga. I can never tell what's gonna happen one month to the next. That genuine feeling of surprise and excitement, it's like crack to me, man. Oh, bro, an unexpected plot development? Release the dopamine. If you told me when I started reading chapter 53 that Isshiki would be dead by the end of it, I'd have called you a fool. But I would have been the fool, because no matter what the reason is, the fact is we're now looking at a very different future than what we were anticipating. Kishimoto can't stray too far from the original plan though, considering that they have to arrive at that iconic scene that keeps us up at night. He can drastically change the circumstances under which it will happen, but at some point, Boruto and Kawaki have to be fighting over a destroyed leaf village. They'll both need karma, Kawaki will want Ninja to end, and he'll have to have sent Naruto somewhere. I think I remember back in 2016 or 2017, Kishimoto talking about how much he loved Kodachi's story draft, thinking it would be even better than Naruto, so hopefully he'll see it through. Personally, I'd love to see it be a second Momoshiki karma. What would you guys like to see? Isshiki, Momoshiki, Kaguya, someone new? Did Kawaki's shadow clone give him the karma, or is Isshiki dead for good? Let me know what you think in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, hit that sub button. Guys, we're so close to 900. Then we'll be 90% of the way to YouTube partnership. The final push is on the horizon. Thanks for staying for the whole video, guys. I love you, and I'll see you next time.